Arabia's public investment fund reportedly takes a 5% stake in Nintendo and Abu Dhabi's Borouge to float an IPO on the ADX. You're watching the Daily Brief with Forbes. I'm Ramia Farrage. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund has reportedly taken a 5% stake in Nintendo. This is the third investment by the PIF in a Japanese gaming company after it invested in Resident Evil maker Capcom and online games maker Nexon. Nintendo reported net profit of $3.7 billion for the year ended March 2022. PIF launched a gaming and esports group, Savvy Gaming Group, earlier this year in a move to become a leading games and esports group. Abu Dhabi-based petrochemical company Borouge plans to float an IPO by offering 10% of its stake on the ADX. Borouge, a joint venture between Abu Dhabi National Oil Company and Austrian chemical producer Borealis, plans to offer 3 billion ordinary shares. The listing is scheduled for June 3rd and a price range hasn't been indicated. Qatar plans to invest $5 billion in Spain in a move to strengthen bilateral investments in the wake of the Ukraine war. The multi-billion-dollar investment was announced by Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani during an event hosted by the Spanish royals. Qatar is among the top 25 investors in Spain, having injected a total of $22 billion into the country. Qatar is the second largest gas supplier to Spain and provides 12% of its clean energy imports. Britain's inflation has surged to its highest yearly rate since 1982, hitting 9% in April, and is forecast to hit 10% later this year. Rising energy bills and food prices were the most serious drivers as households face the biggest cost of living squeeze since records began in the 1950s. The government said it has a $27 billion package of support for households, but much of this has been canceled out by the effect of recent tax increases on workers. Meanwhile, Eurozone inflation held steady at a record high of 7.4% in April, also driven by soaring fuel and food costs. This is lower than the EU Statistics Agency's preliminary estimate of 7.5%. Inflation has soared over the past year, first on the post-COVID supply bottlenecks and later on knock-on effects from the Ukraine war, which have pushed up prices of everything from raw materials to finished industrial goods. And Elon Musk's SpaceX is reportedly set to become the most valuable American startup as valuation of the rocket firm rose to $125 billion in an ongoing share sale in the secondary market. Shares of the company are being sold at $72 per piece, up from $56 per share in October 2021. At the time, SpaceX reached a reported valuation of $100 billion. I'm Ramia Farrage. This is the Daily Brief. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.